Okay, very good afternoon to all my dear students. Today we are going to have our lecture of engineering economics and industrial management, and the topic of my lecture is break-even analysis. Okay, the topic of our lecture is break-even analysis. We are going to study about this topic, break-even analysis, in our today's lecture. Now let's start. So first of all, we'll start with the introduction to break-even analysis. What do you mean by break-even analysis basically? A break-even analysis is used to determine how much sales volume your business needs to start making a profit. First of all, break-even analysis or the break-even point is that point which is used to determine that how much sales is required. Basically, what is the minimum amount of sales required to earn some profit? Because basically the main motive of engineering economics and industrial management is the two purposes. One is to earn the profit, to learn how to economically make a system balanced. Second is know to managerial skills, to know the industrial management, how to manage your employees, how to manage everything in your industry so that it goes all well. So this subject is basically dealing with these two aspects. So first aspect is covered in first units and second aspect is covered in the second two units of your curriculum. Okay. So first of all, we'll start off with the first aspect of your syllabus, that is engineering economics. And economics, in terms of economics, the break-even analysis is a very important point. It is important because it tells us or it deals us with the economics profit. What is the amount of profit that we can earn? Actually, break even analysis makes us analyze the point where we are at the least risk. Least risk means where there is it is a point where there is no profit, no loss. We are not getting any profit, nor we getting any loss. So this is a point at the least risk. We are not getting, if we are not getting any profit over here, then we are not getting any loss also. There is no profit and no loss at this very point. So this is very important in respect to the break even analysis. Okay, so let's start with this move. The break even analysis is especially useful when you are developing a pricing strategy, either as part of a marketing plan or a business plan. It is very useful when we are developing a pricing strategy. Basically, when we manufacture anything, we just put a price tag. This product will cost us this much. This product will cost us this much. So this before pricing any equipment or pricing any product that we are manufacturing, we need to know our margin. If my margin is 10 rupees for each pen, suppose I'm manufacturing one pen, manufacturing a pen industry I have, and I'm manufacturing a ball pens. And if the margin of my profit is 5 rupees, and I can't leave my that margin in order to put the selling price. So before putting a selling price, I need to put my profit margin at my side, and then I have to mark the selling price on that very product. And that break-even analysis helps us to analyze that selling price or the market plan or the business plan strategies. Now, the break-even calculator. What do you mean by the break-even calculator, first of all? Basically, break-even is further calculated by having certain parameters to be known to us in a very well-planned way. First of all, we should know about the fixed cost. In order to understand the break-even analysis, we should understand the various parameters which are involved with the break-even calculation or the break-even chart. Okay, so the first point is your fixed cost. Fixed cost is what? The fixed cost is usually the sum of all the costs required to produce the first unit of a product. It is the sum of all the costs required to produce the first unit of the product. It is actually the sum of all the costs. Whatever the cost we are coming across, we are just putting all those costs together in order to know our fixed cost analysis. For example, in order to calculate your fixed cost, we should be known very well with the amount of the fixed cost analysis. What are the various factors which are coming across when we talk about the fixed cost? Suppose we are earning a factory. Okay, so let us take a supposition that we are earning a factory and a factory is on rent. The land on which a factory is being running, or the factory on which we have owned a factory, that is not basically our own owned factory, that is on rent basis, and we are paying that rent regularly. That means that payment of that rent of that factory is what? That is your fixed cost. It comes under your fixed cost. Then we have the electricity bills, the water and sewerage bills of that area, of that factory, that is fixed, that we have to pay every month. Because if we are using the factory, we are manufacturing there or something or not, but if we have taken that factory into our custody for a certain span of time, we have to pay the rent of that factory, we have to pay the electricity bill, we have to pay the water and sewage bill and other all allowances which are being occupied for that area. So those all costs come under your fixed cost. So these all cost factors will be accompanied or that will be coming across with your fixed cost. This cost cannot be changed. Fixed cost, the cost which cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. It cannot be altered. There is no other option to make any alterations in this cost. So we have to obey this cost and we have to pay this cost at each and every ultimate. That is the first and the prime thing in case of your fixed cost. So the in case of a factory or industry, the fixed cost is the rent of the factory, the electricity bill, the house rent, the water and sewerage bill, that all are your fixed cost. And while putting any of the selling price on the product, the products which are being manufactured in that industry, before putting any selling price on that product, we need to put all these factors into consideration. Which factors? The fixed cost factors, the cost which we are paying, which we as a manufacturer are paying. We have to put all those factors into consideration, all the cost factors into consideration before paying the all those bills, and before setting up the selling price of the product, because that cost has to be put into the selling price. So this is a very important concept in case of your engineering economics. Okay, then comes your variable unit cost. Variable unit cost is what? Variable unit cost is what? This is your cost which can be varied, which is not fixed, it can be varied. We can vary the variable cost, and the cost which has not any proportion that it is fixed. We can vary it according to our own conditions. Like for example, if we talk about the industry only, the wages, the salaries which we are paying to our employees, that can be altered. If the selling is not very good, then we can cut down the wages of our employees. That is normally done in the private sector. And then if the selling is not going very well, then we can cut down a put on a raw material also. We can put a cut on a raw material also. That is another aspect of your selling process. So that is all put into your selling process. And the variable cost, variable cost that can be changed. At this moment of time, I'm putting this amount of variable cost, and at the second moment I can change it. I can put down the, I can increase or I can decrease the wages also, and I can increase or decrease the raw material content also. Suppose if my sales are going very well, if I'm earning a business of clothing, ready-made clothing, and my sales are going very well, my brand is going very well in the market, then as a bonus, I can give a rise in the salaries of my employees, because I am earning a good heavy amount of profits. And on the other hand, if the sales are not going very well, then what will we do? Then we'll put on a cut on the salaries of my employees, because I'm getting a loss. I'm not earning any profit, but I'm going through a loss period. So I can't give the full salaries to my employees. So I have to put down on my salaries of my employees. So that is the other aspect of the variable cost. So salary point is a variable. Then the raw material which I am using for the manufacturing process, that is also a point that is not fixed. That is also not fixed. That can be varied. How it can be varied? How can I vary the raw material? If suppose if my the sales are not going very well, I'm not going very well with my sales, then what can I do? Should I manufacture all those things again and again? If I was preparing 100 lots of ready-made clothing in one day and my sales are not even of 10, then should I make 100 only for each and every day? No, I will not make that because my sales are not going very well. So I need to put down on the manufacturing process also, so that I should not accumulate the clothing into my factory, and if it's not, the sales are not doing very well. So I will put down the manufacturing process and I will put a put a depreciation level into my raw material also. I'll try to cut down my raw material also, so that I can compensate with the amount of sales. And on the other hand, if the sales are going very well, if the sales are going very well, and I'm on the profit end, I'm on the profit end, then what will I do? If I am on the profit end, what will I do? I will try to, I will try to I will try to bring more raw material. I will try to buy more raw material so that I can make more and more profit by my sales, and I can satisfy my customers more because my sales are increasing day by day. So I need to put a very high amount of raw material into my custody so that I can increase my this raw material content, and I can increase my sales also. So these raw materials, this wages, these all points are somewhat, they are not fixed. They are variable. They can be varied in accordance with our need, in accordance with our present scenario. If the scenario is going very well, if we're getting very good sales, then we can enhance them. And if the sales factor is not doing very well, then we can decrease them. So that is the very important aspect of your variable unit cost. Then we have the expected unit sales. Number of units of product projected to be sold over a specific period of time. I expect that for 1 month, I'll be getting this much of sales. This is expected sales. That norm expected sales come from the point that previous predictions or previous results of sales which were coming this season in these very months, from those previous feedbacks and previous sales which were accompanied or which were encountered by me, they, according to those experiences, I will predict the expected sales of the future, that this much sales will be done in my coming 2 months or 6 months or 1 year. That is expected unit sales. Then we have the unit price. Unit price means the amount of money charged to the customer for each unit of product or service. The amount of money charged to the customer for each unit. Unit price means for one single unit. Suppose I am buying a pen. That pen cost MRP is 10 rupees. That is the maximum retail price. So I'll be charging rupees 10 from my customer. That is the unit price of my product. So that is all about your break-even chart analysis. That is about the fixed cost, variable unit cost, expected unit sales, and your unit. So break-even calculator also calculates a total variable cost. It also calculates a total variable cost, the total amount of variable cost that comes across me. That variable cost can be raw material cost, the wages cost, or the other things. Okay. The product of expected unit sales and the variable unit cost. It is also the product of expected unit sales. What is expected unit sales and what is the variable unit cost? That will also be calculated using this, product of expected unit sales or the break-even calculator. Then the expected unit sales and the variable unit cost. This is a product of the break-even calculator. That is, we need to calculate the expected unit sales and its variable unit cost. The total cost is also calculated by using the break-even calculator. The sum of the fixed cost and total variable cost for any given level of production, that is also calculated very well by using the break-even calculator. So in all, it is a sum of fixed cost and the total variable cost. So break-even analysis or the break-even calculator will actually calculate the total cost that is coming across, that I am paying as a manufacturer, what cost actually I am paying. That is your fixed cost and the variable cost, sum of your fixed and the variable cost. Then the break-even calculator also calculates its total revenue, the product of expected unit sales and unit price. What is the total expected value of the sales and unit price, that will be calculating over here. The profit or loss, what is the total amount of profit or loss that I am earning, that will also be calculated over here. The momentary gain or loss resulting from revenues after subtracting all associated costs. What is the momentary gain or loss that we are coming across after subtracting all the associated costs? All the associated costs, if we are subtracting them from the main gain, what is the total gain or the loss factor that is coming across us? That will be calculating using the break-even calculator. The total revenue minus total cost also gives us the break-even calculator, or that is being calculated by using the break-even calculator. So break-even calculator is something that is not only actually telling us the amount of profit earned or the amount of loss earned, it is actually also telling us the amount of the total revenue generated. What is the total revenue or total uh, amount that we have generated? That is also being calculated by using this total revenue. The product of expected unit sales and unit price. What is expected unit sale and what is expected unit price? The product of these two terms is also calculated by using the break-even calculator. Okay. Then the profit or loss. The profit or loss margin is also calculated by using the what? By using the break-even calculator. So that is another aspect of this break-even calculator that we are using. The momentary gain or the loss factor is also being calculated over here using this break-even calculator point. What is the actual gain and what is the actual loss factor that we are coming across? That is also being calculated over here by using this break-even calculators. So that is actually what is being expected and what we are actually getting it. Okay, so that is something that need to be known to each one of us before making any of the calculations by using a break-even analysis. The total revenue, the subtraction value or the cutoff value of the total revenue generated and the total cost generated, that is also being calculated by using this value of the break-even calculator. Okay. Then next we have your break-even points. What do you mean by break-even points? Break-even points are those points where the number of units that must be sold in order to produce a profit of zero. What is the break-even point? Number of units that must be sold in order to produce a profit of zero, but will recover all the associated cost. So break-even point is actually a point where the profit is almost zero. The profit that is being earned is almost equal to 0 point. You're not earning any profit by using the break-even points. The profit ratio is almost equal to zero. Then what is the value, or then what is the analysis, or what is the benefit of this? If the profit point is zero over here, then we can say that the break-even point is the fixed cost minus a variable unit cost. In units also we can say that it is the subtraction point or difference between the fixed cost and the variable cost, that will give us the actually break-even point. If we'll take the difference between the 2 points, then that point will also give us the difference of the fixed cost and variable cost will also give us the break-even point analysis. Okay, then we have the break-even point in term of rupees. Break-even point in terms of rupees is the fixed cost by the selling price minus a variable unit cost. That is a formula for the calculation of break-even point in terms of the rupees or in terms of cost. Okay, the first formula is for in terms of units, and second formula is in the terms of what? It is in the term of rupees or in terms of money. That is in fixed cost by the selling price minus a variable cost into units. Now, what are various examples of break-even point? Let us take a simple example of break-even point to calculate it more appropriately. For example, the fixed cost for producing 1 lakh product worth 30,000 rupees a year. For example, we say that the fixed cost for producing a 1 lakh product, if we have to manufacture a product of 1 lakh, then the manufacturing cost is rupees 30,000 in a year. Your variable costs are 2.220 rupees material. Your variable cost is 2.20 paisa rupees material and 4 rupees labor, zero point 0.8 rupees overhead, and for a total of 7 rupees per unit. This is a total cost, total variable cost, which is coming across us for any product selling. The total products which are being produced is 1 lakh. The cost for producing 1 lakh product is rupees 30,000 in a year. And the total variable cost for each unit is 7 rupees. And the bifurcation of that 7 rupees is like that. We have the variable cost of rupees 2 for material, rupees 4 for labor, and zero point 0.8 rupees as the overhead charges. Overhead charges means the transference charges, the transportation charges, or other charges, the labeling charges, the making charges, all those charges which are overhead towards the raw material and the labor, which are beyond the labor and your this raw material charges. It is beyond it. That is known as overhead charges. That is under this. So if you choose a selling price of 12 rupees for each product, okay, then 30,000 divided by 12, that is 12 minus 7 equal to 6,000 units. And if we choose to have a selling price of 12 rupees for each product, so if the 7 rupees is the total variable cost and we are trying to set a selling price of rupees 12 for each product, then 30,000 what is what? It's a total, this is a total amount that we are investing in any product, divided by the 12 is what? Tell you the selling price minus 7 is your variable cost. Selling price minus variable cost is equal to what? It will give you the break-even point. It is equal to 6,000 units. This is a number of products that have to be sold at a selling price of 12 rupees before your business will start to make a profit. So this is actually a minimum point. This is actually a minimum point, that is a 6,000 units. If we produce 6,000 units at and we sell those 6,000 units at a cost of 12 rupees per unit, then we can earn a profit of some huge amount. Otherwise, we are not earning any profit. This proves us this thing. Now, what is the use of break-even point? It is helpful in deciding the minimum quantity of sales. It is helpful in determination of tender price. It is helpful in examining the effects upon organization profitability. Quantity kitni हमने बनानी है? What is the amount of tender price? What is the amount of organization profitability? It is also helpful in deciding the substitution of new plants. How can we substitute the new plants? That is also, it is very helpful in that also. It is also helpful in sales price and quantity. It is also very much helpful in the sales price and quantity. It is helpful in determining the marginal cost also. It is helpful in determining the marginal cost. Sale price, quantity, and marginal cost is being calculated by using the break-even point. Then what are various limitations of break-even point? Break-even analysis was only a supply side cost. That suppose I'm a manufacturer and this only analyzes my as a supplier, what are my costs or what are my analysis, profit or loss analysis towards my side. Okay, so it is not telling us actually about the product. It's not telling about the product कि वो product जब market में गया वो कितनी prices में sell हुआ. It is not telling about that. So that is one of the drawback. It also assumes that the fixed costs are constant. It assumes that the amount of fixed cost that we are producing is always constant. It is not changing. Okay, this is fixed. It assumes that average variable costs are constant per unit of output. Average variable cost is almost constant per unit of output, at least at the range of likely quantities of sales. It is almost same and at least in the range of like quantities of sales के ऊपर जो है it is producing the constant amount of output. It also assumes that the quantity of goods produced. It also assumes that the quantity of goods produced is equal to the quantities of good sold. It is always assumption. It is working on assumptions basically, and the one major assumption over here is the quantity of goods produced is equal to the quantity of goods sold. So that is, there is no change in the quantity of goods held in inventory at the beginning of the period and the quantity of goods held in inventory at the end of the period. So this is actually a major drawback, that it is only working on suppositions. It is only working on assumptions. It is not giving any change in quantity of goods held inventory. Inventory means a list of articles which are actually present with us at the beginning and at the end of the period. It is not telling us something about that. So that is the one of the biggest drawback of this break-even point. In multi-product companies, it assumes that the relative proportion of each product sold and produced are constant. So in multi-point product companies also, it assumes that the relative proportion of each product sold and produced are also constant. They are running constant. So that is all about your break-even point and break-even analysis. So in order to give a summary or to sum up this discussion, I would say that break-even point is comprising basically of the fixed cost, variable cost, expected unit sales, calculation of break-even point, what is the calculator for break-even point, and in all, what is exact benefit of using the break-even point. So break-even point is a point which is held or which is useful in analyzing the point where there is no profit and no loss. So we are actually exhibiting a point on a graphical representation where we are not expecting any profit or any loss. So that is another benefit of using the break-even analysis. So any doubts you can ask. So the next topic of our today's lecture is break-even charts. Break-even charts are the charts which are related with the break-even analysis. Actually, we are plotting the graphical analysis of the break-even charts or the break-even values, which we have got from calculations of fixed costs, variable costs, selling price, etc. So after getting all these values, how can we prepare the break-even charts using all these expected values? So let's start with this topic now. Introduction, we'll start with the introduction of this topic. All the students will be able to calculate the total cost and revenues. Actually, after discussion of this break-even analysis, we are able to calculate total cost. Total cost includes a fixed cost, variable cost, and selling price, selling cost. And we can calculate the revenues also. What are other sources of revenue generation of our income? The more students will be able to calculate the break-even formula, because the formula is also very much clear now. Some students will also be able to draw the break-even chart. Now let's draw how this break-even chart actually calculates. So break-even is when total cost is equal to revenue. When the total cost of the system becomes equal to revenue generated, that is your break-even chart basically. When the total cost becomes equal to the revenue generated, that is your break-even chart or the break-even analysis, where neither a profit nor a loss is made. So this is a point where there's no profit, no loss. Total cost is equal to what? It is equal to a fixed cost plus the variable cost. So whatever we are spending on any production of the system, we are actually getting output also. The same amount of output is getting out after spending the same amount of money. Suppose I'm spending 100 rupees for manufacturing of 100 pens. Okay. and that manufacturing is including the fixed cost and variable cost, and I am earning after selling those 100 pens in the market, I am earning the 100 rupees only. That means whatever I have spent in the manufacturing of those 100 pens, that is 100 rupees, I'm getting back in return when I'm selling them. That means I'm selling each pen at rupees 1. So that is actually, there is no profit margin over here, and there is no loss margin also. So I'm not getting any loss also, and I'm not getting any profit also. So this break even point or break even analysis helps us to calculate that point where we are heading towards no profit and no loss. Now, what is the revenue basically? How this revenue can be calculated? What is this revenue actually? What actually this revenue means? A revenue is the income from the selling products. Actually, what is the selling products and what is the revenue generated from those selling of the products? That is actually a revenue calculation. So revenue is actually the income from the selling of the products. The selling price of one unit into number of units sold is equal to revenue generated. Now, what is the amount of revenue that is being generated? That is equal to the revenue income in one unit into number of units which are being sold after the revenue generation. So, what is the revenue from the following sales? 50 t-shirts are sold at a price of euro 10 each. It's a euro sign, euro 10 each, and 30 sponge cakes at 1 each, and 5 pairs of shoes at 20 euro each. This is actually a problem which you can calculate at the revenue generation. The selling price is 10 rupees into number of units sold are 50. So what is the revenue generated? 10 into 50, that is equal to 500 rupees. So revenue is 500. And in this case of cakes is 1 into 30 is 30 euros. 5 pair of shoes at 20 each means 20 into 5 is 100. So 20 into 5 is 100 euros have been, or revenue of 100 euro has been generated by using this kind of calculations. So a revenue, as always with any kind of model, we need to make some assumptions. These are fixed costs don't change. For every generation, we always make assumptions that fixed costs, it doesn't change. It is always fixed. The selling price stays the same. Even the selling price is always the same. It is not changing. The variable cost vary in direct proportion to the output. The variable cost is also varying in proportion to the output. That is the variation in the variable cost. So every unit of output is sold. So every unit of output is also sold by using the revenue generation. Fixed cost doesn't change. Selling price remains the same. The variable cost in variation in that portion of output, and every unit of output is sold. There is no unit that is left unsold. Each and every unit of the lot has been sold by using the revenue generation formula. Then what is the actual formula for calculating the break-even analysis or the break-even point? The break-even point is equal to fixed cost by the selling price minus the variable cost per unit. So it is a formula. This is a formula for the calculation of the break-even point. It is a formula for fixed cost upon selling price minus the variable cost per unit. Now this is the graphical or the break-even chart which we are coming across when we try to analyze the break-even analysis. Okay, so when we are trying to analyze this, we are heading towards the break-even point. So this is actually the break-even point at the center. And if we are moving below the center, we are heading towards loss. And if we are heading above the center, we are heading towards the profit. And at this point, where there is an intersection between the profit and loss, this is the point where there is no profit and no loss, and this is a point where the analysis, or where the point where there is no profit and no loss graphical representation. So on this point where the intersection of both of the profit and loss curves intersect with each other, this is the point for the calculation of the break-even point with no loss and no profit. This is actually a break-even chart which is used for the analysis of the break-even point. Now, why break-even? Why we need to have the break-even point? So what is the main utility of break-even point? Why we need to calculate it? So predicting future profit levels. The main benefit of using the break-even is we can easily predict the future profit levels by using the break-even points. The future points can be easily predicted by using the break-even. Calculating how long it will take to make a profit. We can actually calculate how long it takes to make a profit. A quick estimate is made calculating the output required to meet a profit target. We are actually making the output required to meet a profit target. That is, another catchy point of break-even analysis. So it is always useful and helpful in predicting the future profit levels and how much I can earn a profit in future. So break-even is quite helpful in calculating or in analysis of the future predictions of profit levels. It is also helpful in calculating the uh, how to make a profit. It will make us understand the profit gaining aspects or strategies, how to gain a maximum amount of profit. It is also a quick estimate. A quick estimation can be made that we have made a profit or we are accounting the loss. It is also able to calculate the output required to meet a profit target. How we can enhance our output or how we can actually fulfill the demands of the market or fulfill or how we can actually enhance the sales amount so that we can enhance the profit target also. We can enhance a profit target, we can achieve the profit targets, and how which strategies should we follow in order to enhance the profit, that is also guided by the break. These are the various four parameters which are actually helpful for calculation of your break. Now, what is the limitation of this break analysis? What are limitations? It do not take into account the possible changes in cost over time period. Now, this is a very important. It is actually the biggest limitation of break even is only this much, that it is not taking into account the possible changes which we are encountering, okay, which we are encountering in using this, what is the amount of cost we are going to change, amount of changes in the cost which are going to come in the coming period of time. So that is not actually possible using this. So this is one of the most important point, is not telling us any of the cost points. So whatever the cost we are coming across, it is not giving us any possible changes in those amount of cost over the time period. So this time period point is also very important over here. What is actually over time, because its cost is not stationary every time. With respect to time, the cost always changes. So with respect to time, what is the content of the cost that is changed? That is calculated by using this uh, break even, but it doesn't help us much. It doesn't help us much in calculation of the cost changes with respect to time. It do not allow the changes in selling price also. Now this is one of the other important point. It doesn't allow us any changes that is being produced in the selling prices. This is another catchy point for this break even analysis. Analysis only as a good as quality of information. Matlab, only quality of information is being sent to us. It is good or bad, but it doesn't help us in a more bifurcated way, in a more deep sense. We can't calculate the actual analysis of that information. It do not allow for changes in market conditions in time period. It doesn't allow the changes in market condition. What are various market conditions in coming time, and how we can change the market conditions in the coming time with respect to time? What are the changes in market conditions with respect to time? That is also not allowable with respect to this break-even analysis. So we are not able to know that who is a new competitor. It doesn't help us to know the new competitors in a market. So this is another weakest point of break-even analysis. We are not able to analyze any of our competitor. These is a very big points which we are coming across when we talk about these things. Okay. So next is your so next point comes to your limitations. These are various limitations which are actually very much, which actually is very much dispensable form. We are not expecting this much from our system, but this is actually the biggest limitation of break-even analysis which you are coming across when we actually implementing this break-even analysis in our daily life. So this is all about your break-even point, break-even analysis, break-even chart, and what are limitations and what are advantages of using break-even analysis, and a formula for calculating break-even point. And after knowing the formula, after knowing the fixed cost, variable cost, and various sorts of revenue generated, we can actually plot the break-even chart that has been shown over here. The intersection point gives us the idea of break-even chart or the break-even point. And after knowing this break-even point or break-even chart, we can understand that this point will give us no profit and no loss. That's all for today's presentation class. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can contact me on the email ID given below.